Greetings, Grandmaster Amon Ra here, coming to you live on a very rainy day in Mombasa. I had scheduled this show for a few hours ago, but the rain was so much, and I don't know if you know how it is when you're in a tropical climate. For some reason, it's been raining for like 8 hours, and you don't sleep right. I don't know if you don't sleep right, but you become very lethargic. You become very sleepy. And unfortunately, when I got up, it was still dark and it was still raining. And I don't know if you can even hear the rain in the background. I've tried to do this outside, and it didn't. The rain just refused me. This is a bit of unusual weather for Mombasa, so I scheduled for 2 hours later. And like I said, I've been trying to log on for the last 30 minutes outside, and it's everywhere I moved, the rain was wet, getting the laptop wet. Now, I'm normally on time, and that's why I'm apologizing. I'm just new at the scheduling thing, and then I realized that some of you guys were out there. And now this broadcast is coming at a time when most people probably are asleep. But since I had promised I would do it, I'll go ahead and put it out there. And we can always do a part two. Okay. Good morning, NASA. How are you? Uh, NASA. Before we get started, let me go because I just realized I didn't bring my glasses. So let me go get my glasses. Yeah, they should be leading everyone to Mombasa. Definitely. We're here, and it's a beautiful place. So if rain is good sometimes, but a lot of it can mess you up. It's not that it's raining hard. It's not that it's cold outside. It's just, I don't know, continuously raining. I have to go see what the weatherman is saying. Uh, why do you guys give me these hard names, man? Oh, my 2 cents plus. Okay, I'm trying to read it in Swahili. Uh, what's up? There's a lot going on in the diaspora. Yeah, there's a lot going on. And it seems like we have to tackle that. And I know I'm going to be a hated man from some people. Now that's a false flag if it's in itself. Shay, I love you, bro. People tell me I should watch out for you, but I really think we can hit it off well because you got a really smart brain there. People don't realize. Rain here too in Memphis. Oh, okay. Well, I don't feel so bad then. Whew, okay. If it's raining in Tennessee, then damn. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Maybe this is all around the world. Maybe God is just like pissed off at us. That's a joke. Uh, anyway, today's show is about Tariqq, with his foundation, Black America, and Tone Talks with his ADOS, both giving conferences, both pushing a narrative. Tone Talk was almost nailed down in the coffin, but somehow he was able to get himself out and spring the ADSO back to life after the New York Times put them on the cover. I don't know why they did that on the headlines. So the two groups are not butting heads, and Tariqq is also really trying to show that he's not butting heads with Tone Talks. But in Tone Talks is trying to show that he totally respects Tariqq, even though he's never met him, and wants him to. I'm sure he wants him to contact him, and they sit down and talk. But this is turning out to be some sort of small rival between two groups, and Black Americans are in the middle. And normally, through history, when you look at it, they give us like two groups, and they fund both groups, and then you end up getting a watered down version, or what I like to call a soap opera effect, where you get a really juicy story that has a stupid ass ending at the end of it, and then you wonder why you were watching the soap opera for 5 or 6 days trying to see who Jamie was sleeping with. My 2 cents. What's going on with France over there? They're mad or something. Everybody knows that the people in France are been uprising because they can't believe that the standard of living that they have is they can't believe that the standard of living that they have has gone down, and it's going to go down even worse because the president of Benin has said that I think it was like 12 West African countries that used the oh, I got a message from somebody. Somebody has sent us a African super chat. Oh, and I can't see the name right now, but we're going to talk about that. So yeah, and they're going to say that these African countries are going to stop putting their money in the French bank. I guess they heard the former AU ambassador to America, and when she said that what France is doing is a crime, and then they supposedly fired her, but they just showed that her term had ended, and they're saying that it's because she's been talking crap about France is putting all of the African countries' money in the French bank, and then charging them interest to borrow their money. So everybody saw that was criminal, and now that's about over. Unless France, 8 countries, thank you. Unless France can, uh, unless France wants to step it up, and that's only going to solidify the unity of all African countries all around the world. I mean, all around the continent. So I'm sure they're in talks with the U.S. and the EU on what steps they can take to try to win some sort of concession in here, France. But one thing is for sure, nobody's going to go stepping on Africa's toes or sending in troops and nonsense like that. Not this time, because the world is watching. And a lot of countries don't like France anyway. So these are the kind of things that I'm talking about that we should be talking about. But instead, we get propaganda news. Instead, we get these sideshows where groups are starting to talk about, I'm going to go do this and I'm going to do that. And we get sidetracked. Now you have the FBA and you have the ADOS, but you also have another group. And that group is us, Field Negroes. Field Negroes is trying to get the hell out of the United States. In any way, shape, or form, even if it's a little bit. You're investigating into Africa, and you want to know if Africa is really the place to go. And this channel was about, hell yeah, that's the place to go. Shoot, that's just a silly question. Africa is the place you could go. It's not even it's no longer something like you're gonna just take a trip. It's a necessity to have an African escape plan, because all these things that are happening to the United States has been predicted, and it's happening, and just like you're falling off of a cliff, and you saw the cliff coming a long time ago. But now, as you fall off the cliff, you're just kind of riding it, right? Like riding away. But these things are happening. Jobs are laying people off. There's no money, and the politicians are not caring about black people whatsoever. We don't have black communities are disappearing. Nobody want to talk about black people is disappearing. Nobody want to talk about that. Instead, you have these house Negro groups that are talking about let's make a plan. Let's beg master for some more money. Let's sit down and talk and discuss. And you have black people in the middle of all that saying, man, I hope somebody does something, But at the end of the day, history is the best guide for us to follow to show that these things don't work. You got your passport. Did you go down to the post office to get your passport application? Was it the white person that gave you that application? You should just look at their face. You know how we used to do, especially I guess in Memphis. It's tough. White person is the one giving you an application. You tell them, I need my passport application. I want to get the hell out of this country. And just look at their face, because they've been treating us like we're non-citizens since the beginning. They and we're not. They're right. Black people are not citizens in the United States. You can't be treated badly like this for 400 years and expect to say, this is my country. No. Too much history show that they don't give a shit about you. They playing with our lives and our people, because we have chipped off from the main source. And this is what happens. If we have to get back to the main source. And then you just automatically, when you get here in modern Africa, where I'm at right now, you're just gonna feel relieved. That's the first thing, that you don't have all that pressure that you have. I mean, if an animal's born in the zoo, do he know he's in the zoo? If an animal's born in the zoo, did he know he's in the zoo? He can't know into the zoo till you go kick him out and put him in the wild. Then he be running, and then he still keep on running and running. And he's like, hey, where's the fence? There's no fence. Okay, yeah, you say there's nobody to throw you food over the fence anymore, and you got to go chase after your food. But and it's hard, but you chase down that first deer. I mean, not deer. What would it be? Antelope, and you catch him and eat him. Boy, that's the best meal you ever had, because it's yours and free. And then you start looking around, seeing other antelope, and you be like, this is my food. As if you're a lion. So, yeah, we need to get back to the majority. We've been treated like zoo animals because of the color of our skin. It makes it easy for them. Mr. Pirate Brands, how are you, sir? Good to see you. And yeah, sorry I'm late on this scheduled show. For those people that are following this scheduled show, I somehow feel like who's following this scheduled show. But in the last month, we went from I was trying to get my views to be 200 people, and I was really happy when the video went to 200 people. And today, we now have views of 700 people. We got over 1,000 subscribers. But I really don't believe in that thing. I don't know. That thing, it seems like it's going. Who in the hell is counting all the people that view this shows? So anyway, so I want to discuss about the ADOS movement, which I've done before, and people threw rocks at the screen. People stopped talking to me, but that's what this channel is about. That's why we can talk about things that the normal people don't talk about, and we don't have to worry about Patreon or YouTube cutting us demonetizing our channel because we have a unique way for people to support the channel. And with that said, I want to thank and put a shout out to Chris Hamilton, uh, Ashley Springfield, who just sent money a minute ago, I think, and Evelyn Ballemy. Evelyn Ballemy, you were the first woman to support this channel. So you are officially our channel queen. So whenever I see Evelyn in the chat line, I have to stop whatever I'm doing and pay attention to her comment. And everybody who said shout out to Evelyn, she had been telling me before that I tried to do it like when we first started, because she's been with the channel since the beginning, I think. And she's like, I'm trying to do that, send money that way. It didn't work, because we were having trouble. The people we had used Wave, and then I don't know, somebody must have got the Wave and they said, no, we refuse you. Any money to that number, no, we won't do it. So Evelyn got caught up in that, and then she was telling me I tried this way. Then the other day she said I tried the new worldremit.com, and it asked for a number she didn't have, phone number. But now I guess she got a phone number, and she has supported the channel, and I really appreciate. That's what we're talking about here. Even you can see in my voice, I'm excited. It's at 8 o'clock at 8:30 in the morning. So Chris Hamilton, thank you for the super tap, bro. Wherever you are out there, I'll be looking for your name in the chat line. Ashley Springfield, welcome, and appreciate the support. That's what we're talking about. You see, I can talk about. I'm here. I'm not in the United States. See, I'm not confined. I can talk about white people all day long because I don't have to deal with them. You see, some people get on there. They know they got a white guy that they depend on, got money. And so they can't get out here and say the white man is the devil and the white man did this. They can't talk like that. Some of them are being supported by white people just on GP. And then they take that money and then they feel like they can't talk about certain things or certain issues. And that's what I want to talk about today too, because I want to expose some things here, because some people have said that some of these groups are being sponsored by whites. They come in, they sponsor, and they tell you what you can't talk about, or they don't even tell you anything. You just know how far you can go. And this is the problem with having groups in the Negro groups in the United States. This thing has been going on for ages. And are we seeing another false flag operation? Now, when I say false flag operation, some of you younger people are like, what? How? But they're there. Yeah. Oh, Shay, you did hook me up with Phil. And, I appreciated that. And I have said that several times. That's why I'm saying, I can't get mad at you when you try to come at me. And you're not really that good at cracking jokes anyway. So I love defeating you because it's so much fun. Evelyn, there you are. My sister, did you hear what I said? Oh, Bella, I was practicing this name. Ballemy. You guys have to understand, I'm here in Swahili land, and the vowels are sounded differently. So somehow they don't tell you about that. So when you start really practicing Swahili or speaking Swahili, the vowels are different. So A is I, E is I, U is U. It's like crazy. So when I'm reading the name, I get confused on that. So it's Bellamy. That's what I was saying. Evelyn Bellamy. Anyway, we're not going to call you Evelyn. We're going to call you Queen, because you were the first woman to support this channel. And I can't wait till you guys so I can see you in person. Mustafa the Muslim man, assalamu alaikum. Shout out to Evelyn, the first lady, super chat. Yes, that's great. And anytime you have a question, Evelyn, we're friends now. I know you know me, but now I know you. And anytime you have something that you need, you got a friend in Kenya right here, just let me know. If you need some information about anything, public or private, I do my best to serve you. Okay, because you've been true to your word, saying that you were going to support this channel. Anyway, uh, O'Shea channel, donate $10 to Amara, and I will unblock you. I think O'Shea sent me a support channel. I don't know if it was a joke or it was a what, but anyway, O'Shea, I always appreciate you. And somebody was telling me that your channel don't like black women. So I don't know what's that about, but you'll tell me later. But anyway, our show today here is to talk about these black groups, and we know that if you were here before, uh, I mean, if you're younger, you may not remember a lot of certain things that went on. But you see, I'm older, and for those people like Mr. Private Bean, Private Brain, he can remember back during the freedom rides. Do you remember the freedom rides? When the blacks and the whites got in the bus and they started going all through the South, talking about we're gonna free the South. Oh, how proud we were when the freedom riders when they put the freedom riders in the news, talking about they going around, sitting on lunch counters. But how sad we were when they got their ass kicked on national TV. How disappointed we were. How proud we were when Martin Luther King was singing that "I Have a Dream" speech. And how bad you felt when they had the interview and King said that dream has turned into be a nightmare. And then got a bullet in the head for his troubles. Remember how proud you were when Jesse Jackson ran for president twice. He wasn't the first black man to actually run. And how bad you felt when they did him the way they did him. Blacks are just totally embarrassed, didn't know what to do. But the white man was just laughing all the time because they didn't know, they were stumbling over each other. The CIA was stumbling over each other. How are we gonna get this nigga out of the race? And they surely did that, and he never ran again. How proud we were in the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Remember the Civil Rights? Johnson, July, signed the Civil Rights. How proud we were. Every blacks was like, yeah, America's tree. And how sick we felt the next year when they beat the shit out of 600 demonstrators in Selma on national TV. Told you, nigga, you must be crazy. You think you got rights to march and do what you want? Wham, pow, boom. 600 of them got wiped out. They put a movie on it, but the movie don't do the real thing justice. It's only around when you're walking around the house and see your mom complaining and sad and seeing black people. Told you, back in the 60s, you know how black people was like, I told you them fools was crazy. Walking around there, we're talking about marching on the white man with guns in his hand. You crazy. Yeah, but they got they got the muffins kicked out of their ass on national TV. And they broadcasted that shit to show black people, you better stay in your place, nigga. I'm just going back over time so you can see all these groups that came out. You got ADOS today, you got now the FBA, but I'm trying to tell you other groups that had came out, and then what happened to them? Huh? Now, you saying like that's too long ago? 1960s is too long ago. Okay, no problem. I can go into the 1980s. 1980s. So what happened to the black community? They dumped crack in the black community, created crack and brought it out for $2. You could get high all day, and devastated the black community. Ricky Ross and them was happy to go create that take cocaine to a whole new level. And then you had walking zombies walking the streets. Now, 1980s, yes, I was working, and I was seeing them. And that, I would go on a ride along with the police department when I was trying to be in the police department. and we do these ride-alongs where you ride along with the police officer. So we get in the police car, 77th Division in Los Angeles, and the guy turns on the police radio, and then it was like the car, man with a gun, PCP, man with a gun, drug addict, this that. The radio just blowing up in the black community with crime this, crime that, because they didn't care. That was also the introduction of AIDS. And then, as you know, AIDS later became the black disease. They kept putting statistics on TV telling you that 70% of blacks got HIV and only 10% of white people. So it's like, telling white people don't mess with black people, you'll get AIDS and die. Oh, that's the 1980s. That was the 1980s Black uh, liberation movement. They bombed their house, bombed and killed the people in the Moore group in Philly. That was going on in the 80s. And they did almost 1,000 bombings around that time. Took place in the United States. There was a lot of activity. And what black people had to do, they had to sit in front of their TV and watch the people get shot and killed, men, women, and children in their house because of their beliefs. Huh? Okay, some of you are saying, "Oh, that even the 80s, that's too far back." Let's go forward. Let's go to the 1990s. What happened in the 1990s? Oh, police was shooting blacks like it was going out of style, beating them, and then somebody got the idea of videotaping it, and then the videotape showed 4 policemen beating the shit out of this black guy. Then they go to court, and then the court tells this guy with the videotape said, and they analyzed the videotapes like, you see that swing didn't miss the guy, pow, that was on his leg, but it wasn't really serious, boom, all them blows. And then the police were given not guilty verdicts. I'm telling you, like, it didn't take less than an hour before the streets was like on fire. They rioted that shit that was far worse than Watts riot. Because, now LA had shopping malls and everything and more. I had an empty apartment. You couldn't walk inside the apartment because I had stored so much things from the riots. Clothes, things you don't need, but you go break into a store and then you run around talking about you gonna grab whatever you see, And for the people that don't know about breaking and rioting, oh yeah, I was there. Oh yeah, I got mine, man. How you gonna be people going out run around with new clothes and then what about you? I dropped that police shit and shit. I was in there. Anyway, Mustafa, man. Okay, it's all good. We love Evelyn. You hate the first woman on that old channel. Lance Kelly, how are you, sir? Thanks for coming. They used the black mayor to drop the bomb on the Moore in Philly. Man, tell me about it. They used the black mayor. I think it was in Detroit also. Then arrested him talking about he was smoking cocaine. Also in the 1990s, you had the Million Man March. Now this is important. The Million Man March is important because you had forgotten that the whites and the powers that be had realized, or the blacks, whoever designed these things, realized that the people got a short memory. You had the March on Washington with Martin Luther King, and as Malcolm X so eloquently put it, they was told to get out of town by sundown. They had made sure that they had blocked people that they didn't want to speak, and then last minute changes to speeches that the people were going to give. So by the time that Martin Luther got up there with the "I Got a Dream" speech, it was so eloquent. But at the end of the day, it was just a speech. Many people and black people was in Washington D.C. That was segregation was still strong. They couldn't find places to sleep. The hotels would not book them in certain parts of town. And then a lot of them came from far because they thought this meant change. And like Malcolm X explained to us, there was no change in 1964 after Martin Luther King's speech. It was just like, you come out there like a concert, see the show, then get your ass out of town by sundown. And that's what they were saying on the microphone at the end of the speech. Go home, nigga. Not the nigga, but black people. go home now. Okay, no, we had to go clean up the trash as you walk out. So when Farrakhan came up with the Million Man March, they sold that shit. All black people, black men. We've been ostracized. This, that, and other thing. We're gonna talk about. They ain't talking about nothing. Everything that was serious about going on with black people. The black man. After every speaker spoke, Nation of Islam soldiers was running around with buckets trying to collect money, and they collected a lot of money. It said it was over 1 million guys that came down to Washington. I was almost one of them. But at the end of the day, what happened? It was just a message. Basically you got out of town because you didn't have money to be spending to go sightseeing in Washington, D.C. Most of them got on buses and trains and cars and got back out of town. Meanwhile, what did the nation do with the money? Did we see any change? Now, people, you don't talk bad about the nation. I'm talking truth about the nation. I'm not talking, lies, but somebody got to say these things. Some people are talking about it, and then they're being ostracized because they're saying these things. But I'm trying to tell you, people, these are false flag operations. And I mean that they're designed to give you nothing. Warm your heart for like 20 minutes and then that's it. Go back to the grind, go back to work. And you came there because you want to see some change. You didn't come there because you want to hear some fancy speech. You want to hear some juicy gossip. Somebody to come up and say, let's make a move. They didn't come back there around there and take your money and then tell you this money we're gonna be using it for this and that. No, they just took your money. If you like the speeches, help us support the nation. We're gonna do this. Meanwhile, the nation done lost almost all of the businesses that they had when it was under Elijah Muhammad. Nothing like church service. Exactly. You go to church, you go feel good, and then damn, nothing. If you're lucky, you get run over by one of the Cadillacs that the preacher done bought with your money. So black people, we've been fooled, and we should be tired of that. So Tariqq is here in the Foundation of Black America. Even the name is telling you we for the United States. We house Negroes. When they say black in America, that's house Negro. And you got to decide if you're a house Negro. Not if you're a house Negro, get off this channel. You're just going to make yourself upset. If you say, I ain't going to never go to Africa, why are you listening to me? You see, the propaganda that they're feeling in your head is saying one thing, but Africa is calling you on the other end. But they're filling your head full of propaganda on the other side. So you're in conflict. So you watching this show, and you don't even know why you're watching this show. I'm going to tell you. There's only one solution. That's leave. At some point, people have to have had enough. The poker game is rigged. The game is rigged. And and just like I'm the same way. I don't want to believe it. I know I can't believe that they would do us like that, but they've been doing it to us. Look at the results. We're the greatest people on earth. We Africans on steroids. Do you know if you take a regular African in Africa, you take 20 Africans in Africa, you put them on a boat, make them suffer for 4 weeks. They land and then you put them in servitude. You stress them, take their culture away and everything. Out of that 20 that started the journey, the 3 or 4 that survived are the best of the 20. They're the best of the 20. That's what Black Americans are. We the best of the best. They filtered us out, suffer, then we get in the country, and then we work like mad dogs. They tell me dance, nigga, dance. Shit, we show them how to dance because we know how to survive. And every time they give us something, some hoop to jump through, and we jump through the hoop, no matter how high they put the hoop, we jump through it. They see that shit and saying, like, man, if this guy ever realized what I really did to him, oh, if he can jump that high through a hoop, I wonder what he would do to my neck after he figured out what he done to me. And that's why white people is fearing us. But we don't think that way. That's why we constantly try to prove to them the unprovable. That we just want you to like us. But now I don't even want that. I just want to get away from you because you're poison. If you're gonna do me like this, and then the next generation of my kids is being told that they're gonna be worse than the parents, I need to get away from the white man. I don't need to be hanging around with him. And these groups, ADOS and the FBI, they know that they're trying to keep black people in America, and the white man is never gonna complain about that kind of group. You can continually stay in America. Then why did he care how you do, what you do, if you go to a Million Man March riot or what you watch, black people on TV? Because that's the bottom line. You're not gonna get his attention until he see you with a plane ticket in your hand for Africa. The white man lost Africa. Let's just say it real. He lost it. His arrogance and mistreatment and disrespect of the continent has now got the African leaders of those countries doing business with the Chinese. You don't think that the white man came to the black president of an African country and told him don't do business with the Chinese? And what did that African leader tell him? Man, you must be, there's the door. Go listen to some of the African speeches. That's what they're saying. We're going to do business with anybody. President Uhuru came on TV and told him we can do business with anybody that want to do us right, do business with us correctly. And that's the sentiment of most African leaders today. And China and now Russia have heard the call. And the United States, because of their mistreatment in the EU, because of their mistreatment, they have to keep quiet because they know what they have done. It's not even an abusive relationship, Nasa, if you ask me. It's a brainwash. Because if somebody murdered your uncle, murdered your family, put him on the street, and you got a videotape of this happening, and then they go to white man that did it right there. Are you gonna go over there and be like, let's be friends? Surely, no. But if they go and murder your uncle and then say somebody else did it, if they go over there and make your people lose their jobs, so they suffering, and then pretend like it was their fault, then you can't know. When you go see him, you're like, oh, there he is, the white man. I want to make him. I want to show him that there's no hard feelings. These movements, ADOS is thinking that they're gonna get money at some point, and you're gonna be standing in line with Tone Talk. Tone Talk gonna be standing right in line. Let's get our check because I'm gonna start this movement, so I should be like in the head of the line and get the. And then what? The problem is what they're not telling us. What they're not. What is that? Is there another? Oh dear, I'm running out of thinking. Oh, we're gonna have to shorten this video. One of the things that they're not telling us is that there's no black community, so we can't be a functional group. We can't be a united group. And Tone Talks and Tariqq are both singing that song that they're black community, and there's no black community. You can't go to Harlem now, and there's no black community. You can't go to Watts. You can't go to Chicago now. Is even no. Detroit gone. New Orleans, it's too poor to even support any type of functional prosperity for black people. You have to get me right. This thing is in a serious situation. And when anytime a black leader tell you, the black community got to do A, B, and C, then stop them right there. There is no black community. And that is a clear sign that leader is giving you the shaft. They're giving you the shaft, and you're falling for it. So we have to. Oh, look at my wife. This one. I'm just here for myself. Yes. Here, give us the shaft. So that's what I'm saying. The only solution to our problems is black people leaving the country in mass numbers. I mean, not mass numbers, but leaving each as an individual. You can't leave in mass. And I wouldn't even advocate that. And then when we leave, when we land here, what we need to know is that we're okay, we're safe. And the part of the problem with being safe is that you need a place you can stay, put your head at, and not have to worry about being kicked out or evicted. And this is what I want to discuss in another chapter, where we discuss about creating a village. We just look like the same thing like what happened in the Wild Wild West in the Western days. They start off with a small tent group camp, and then the camp turns into a village, and then the village turns into a town, and then the town turns into a city. And we can do that here in Kenya. And this is what I'm saying. It's a long way off, but we're going to start the conversation because we need to move towards action. Problem with black people in America, a lot of them is that they don't know where it's going to happen, where they're going to go, where they're going to stay. You're driving you're going to work every day in the United States, and you're seeing all these people homeless and in tents, and you fear that. You feel like that can happen to you. That makes you step on the accelerator and hurry up and make sure you get to work on time because you don't want to lose your job for fear that you're going to be like that. And some people have been that way. And it's a shame, and it's going to get even worse if the financial crisis gets that bad. So that's why I'm saying we have to wake up and smell the coffee. Now they're telling us that the next generation is going to be poor, and then and there's no jobs, and we don't have black community. Then what is the purpose of a house Negro? He's sitting in a house that's getting ready to be put in foreclosure. The house Negro is sitting in the house ready to be put in foreclosure, and he's saying, let's go there, let's go support master. Because that's all you're doing when you sit there. As a house Negro, you're just sitting there paying taxes, making the master happy. He give a shit what you do inside the borders of America because he don't care about America. How you going to be in America? You running around talking about I want to work, and you going to work. And then this guy's in Congress taking your jobs, and in corporate headquarters taking your jobs to China. He don't give a shit about us. The only thing he's going to understand is that when you take your money out of his system, and in order for you to do that, you must move out of the system. I don't know who the FDLR leader is. Somebody gotta hit me up on that. But I don't want to go and start talking about any groups in particular. But I just want to let people see the historical situation that we're in, and that this is all smokescreen and mirrors, because it ends up in nothing. The only thing that happens that really gives us results is when we leave. Let's say you live in your community, on your neighborhood, and you got, you're a black man, you got a really good job, you got a family, you got a wife, she's also working, and you got 3 kids, and they're in private school. And you decided to move to Africa for 6 months. You see, you close up your house. So that means there's no electricity bill, there's no more gas bill. The house is just there. The normal store that you might send your kids to, or you might go to every day, the local store, no more business for him. You buy a loaf of bread every day. No, that's 7 loaves of bread every week. He can't sell. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So you might like to drink wine every day. You go every day. You buy 2 bottles of wine at the market, but now you don't go there. So after a month, that's 9 bottles of wine that's not being sold. Leaving the country has serious consequences on the economy. You don't go shopping at the store. You don't put petrol in your car. All these things have an effect on the system. And this is the action that we can take that can make America feel it. Meanwhile, you come here and you bring those same dollars to Africa, and they worth 3 times as much, double, and 3 times as much, depending on where you land and how you thrifty you are with your money. So that house that you were renting in the U.S. for 2,000, well, not even 2,000, $3,000 a month. For $3,000 a month, you live in a mansion in the Kenya. That $400 and $500 a week. Oh no, it's not even more than Lego. That $800 a week food bill that you normally get. Hey guys, come on. that $800 food bill would be cut to like $200 a month. So I'm in the living room. My family just act like I'm just sitting here, not doing anything. But anyway, this is what I'm saying. This is what we have to get involved with. So I'm going to cut this video short today. I want to thank Chris Hamilton, Ashley Springfield, and Evelyn Ballemy. Anyway, the queen of the channel now, for supporting the channel. The rest of you guys out there, we always need supporters to keep this channel going. And when we stop raining, we're going to go out again and do some outside videos, as well as give you this information. So what I'm saying today is basically these new groups, and they're popping up and they're trying to get black people to follow them. At the end of the day, they are just leading us down to the same path. Our future is not in America anymore. Our future is now outside. Africa is growing. Modern Africa is there. It's waiting for us. It was just for a need for us to go out there and get out and get involved. So once again, Troy DeSoli, thank you. I hope you guys like the information. When you see these guys like the Creek and Tone Talks talking, they're going to make it look like that's the only two choices you have, but it's not true. We have another choice, and that's to move out of the country. So until we meet again, people, next time, thank you for joining the situation. Oh, say hi to Eva.
Hi.
Hey, Eva. Yeah, there she is. Yeah, so when you send, this is her. This is the correct spelling of her name. And this is the phone number. You can only have one name under each phone number, and this one is under hers. This is our business number. Yeah, you see, I put all my business under her name, but don't tell her. So until we meet again, peace.